post. It's on the. Hold on, let me see.
Oh, like the
Share.
app.
I can still share it. I don't know how. Oh, okay, cool. It saves as a PDF. Well, that's not really a full thing, but whatever. Print chart and details. All right, I can send this to your email actually, and you can pull it up.
Oh, okay.
Well, unless you have an email, or unless you
Yeah,
don't have an
I
email.
can. Oh, hey, freak. Freak's in back.
You just call him freak.
Yeah. What do you call him? Da freak.
Yeah, the freak.
All
I
right,
mean, it's a
everybody.
horrible name.
I've spoiled the suspense, but give it up for Da freak.
It's me.
Welcome, Da.
Hello. How's it going, Jeff?
What's up?
Long time.
How you been?
Hanging in there. You know, paneling around like a little panel slut.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate all our panel hosts. You make this thing work. How have you been lately? What's new?
Um, uh, it's in terms of my personal life, it's a little crazy right now, but otherwise,
Oh,
socially, like I'm
What's
just doing
crazy?
my thing. Oh, just getting along with family or not getting along, or stuff like that.
is it the religion thing?
I think it's mostly the religion thing, and it's a they're dirtbag that kind of a thing.
Oh, why do you talk
Yeah.
to him?
So it's I think it's just an avoidance. Like they just have a need to avoid me for some reason. It's not like I am always pressing them for, on the religious stuff at all. Like, I could hang out, I could be cool or whatever. But I think what it is they have like so much like guilt that just seeing me just like makes them feel bad about themselves.
Oh,
That's what I think it is. Because like literally they've had me thrown in jail for no reason, and I've been
your family had you arrested?
yeah, yeah.
What was that story?
Well, my mom and my sister, they would go down to our country house and leave me with her daughters, my nieces, and they were partying a lot at the time, right? And they were just wild, wild girls. And uh, what were they? Probably like 16 and 19, or they were just becoming like young women or whatever. It was wild, right? So it got out of hand to the point where the people at our HOA were complaining about it because the cops were coming, and they were just causing ruckus, right? And so one time, all the people came over and they were partying again, and so I go over to that side and tell everyone to get the f out, and you know, uh, everyone kind of went outside, and I was like, get out of here, you gotta leave, whatever, we're tired of this, whatever. And next thing I know, I'm getting like literally beaten down with baseball bats and just totally smashed, right?
My God.
And I was able to get away from them and get back into like, the house and everything, but I was beat down pretty good. So,
When was this?
oh God, like 2000 and like 13 ish.
Oh, I thought it was recent, like recently.
No,
Oh, okay.
so this is just like one of the times I was thrown in jail. Okay, so I go to the hospital or whatever. My uncle took me to the hospital, and I got stitched up, and they gave me stuff and medication, and they send me back. So I go back to my side of the condo, and they called the cops on me and said that I was a threat to them, like a domestic violence threat. So I get arrested for domestic violence. You know, because what happened was I ripped down one of my niece's stupid Bob Marley posters. Literally, I ripped it down, like I just grabbed it and was like, I told you we don't want people here anymore, or whatever. Too much partying and all the ruckus or whatever. So the cops show up, and I end up going to jail at like 8 a.m., which is exactly the time when they like are releasing the people to go to court, and then they're intaking the new people. So I had to spend the whole night and the whole day and night in the holding tank until you get your initial appearance. And it was the worst thing ever because I was already beaten down. So I was beaten down and I was in jail, and I saw the judge or whatever, and they were like, I think I don't even know. I think I got OR'd, and then I think I had a hearing, and I don't even think I had a hearing. I think it was dismissed like before then, but that was like one time, and so like ever since that was just one time. It's happened like a couple times after that, but but I made him feel guilty about it, and it wasn't a good experience. So I think
Do you
like
still hang out with your family?
not really. I mean, we've all kind of grown apart, for the most part, but it's not like they ever really apologized for anything like that or anything. Is and especially dealing with like modern girls or young women, it's like, man, it's tough. It's tough because they
Are you
don't.
talking about girls in your life?
No, I'm talking about like, well, yeah. I mean, in that case too, but I'm saying just with my family, like they can never admit the wrong, they lie like it's nothing, uh, and it's just difficult
Yeah,
dealing with them.
I personally just wouldn't fool with people like that, but people have various reasons to stay attached to family.
Unfortunately, maybe it's a sick joke, but yeah, I'm kind of stuck with them or whatever. But I mean, and there's been times of we've been okay, but it's just like I said, sometimes I think that they have because they stole a lot from me too, like a lot of my things that I actually had or whatever. So if I was away working or something, they would go and steal like whatever they could get their hands on and hawk it. Because it's funny because that night that I got beat down was the same exact night that they told me that they started doing heroin, and so I was actually protecting them.
Wait, your family was doing heroin?
No, my nieces started doing it with those people that we're partying with, right? So I was protecting them from the people that got them into heroin, and then they ended up doing heroin and started stealing all my stuff. And it was just the worst. It was just really terrible
It
time.
sounds like you have a fucked up family.
Definitely have a fucked up family.
Well, don't take on their stuff.
So, but it still affects you, it still affects like, how just it affects me because like what one of the things they do is they frame me or they create narratives that will, paint me in a certain way. And then like, uh, I'll go to visit my mom and, she'll think that I'm actually doing those things or that, that I'm doing that or I'm like that or whatever. And then I have to, clear that all up. And so it's just, I guess it's like power games within the family dynamic, right? I don't know. So anyway, it's a little chaotic right now personally, but,
How are you
socially out
handling?
here,
How are you handling the chaos,
how am I handling it?
or how are you getting through it? Like, what
Very,
do you
very,
do when faced with chaos?
I just try to like, very, very, I try to like be mindful and not be too like I just try to like watch myself and be mindful and thoughtful and you know I don't know how to say it, like just like tread lightly, if you know what I mean. Like I don't want to
Oh,
be
like,
too
yeah.
assertive, but I want to get what I if but if there's things that I want or need or whatever, then I have to make sure that I'm being heard or that I'm not being disrespected, that kind of stuff. So because another thing, like women these days, they are cutthroat, like they are very cruel, and they could throw you out in a
To me,
minute.
they've always been that way. But
Maybe they have, but especially my sister's daughters and my sister, uh, they're just like that. Unfortunately, they're just like that.
Landry, I got the file, but it's um it's a PDF and it's not letting me open it as a anything I can share for some reason. Oh, Chuck. Oh my God. Hang on. We got 5 new memberships, and Chuck, I bought you a membership today because I want you in my new tier. Let's see who I'm so excited because memberships mean more now. Let's see who our next 5 are. No way. Fuck, not him. Chuck, what are you doing to me? We got What Say Lou, Tella Klein, Ricardo, and Punkylicious, and some other person whose name I don't even care to know about or remember. Spike, I wish that were you. I would
I
swap that
would.
membership out in a second. Well,
Yo,
welcome,
Hollywood.
all 4 of you. Welcome. Thank you, Chuck.
So I tuned in the other night, I think, like towards the end or whatever, and you were talking about kind of getting flanked at your job or something or whatever, and so you actually were in my feed tonight, which is like have my nights and days totally inverted right now. But so I figured I'd pop in and see what was up. So you're still working, or
Yeah, I think I'm going to transition to part time. I'm going to step down from this leadership role they have me in and transition to part time. Because I took the job, I want to work on the channel more. I took the job originally just to supplement what I'm doing on the channel. And it started, I got way invested in it and it started taking up way more time than, I think this will free up some more time that I could apply to the channel, which is my actual career.
so compare the Panoverse politics to the workplace politics.
To be what?
Can you compare the workplace politics of like
Oh, no, it doesn't even hold a candle. Oh my God. For the
wait,
most part, like I'd say 99, like I'd have to think really hard of even an instant to the contrary. Everyone gets along and works as a team. Like we're just there's too much to do. We don't have time to have petty drama. We have to
interesting.
show up and rely on each other to get the work done and make it through the day and serve the customers. And that's pretty much it. And so
Okay,
I
but
think because of the environment that it is, it doesn't allow for a lot of the drama to, like if we were all hanging out on YouTube, it might be a different story. But because it's in a workplace where we have a shared goal and something to do, like real activity,
right,
it there's not even a lot of opportunity for panel versus style politics.
right. So just the fact that you have to be productive cancels a lot of that out. That's good,
Yeah.
but
This
then I
this
heard,
is the panelverse is really a leisure activity.
yeah,
It's for people who have no other obligations that they have the time to sit around and do this.
yeah, I think so. I think that's definitely a big chunk of most of the goings on. Also,
Landry, take care and thank you. Why don't we do a stream together soon? Like we could do astrology and this life thing. Because I got the PDF, but I'd like to understand more about it. So take care. Thanks for coming up. Get some rest and let's do something soon.
cool.
All right, go
Good
ahead, Freak.
seeing you, Landry. Yeah, he's a cool cat.
It looks really interesting. This I'm a generator. I'm called the Hermit, which says opportunist. I don't know what that means, but in the line of networking, how is the Hermit the networker? It is through this networking that you will land a job, find your significant, or oh my God, this is mostly true because almost every job I've ever found was through networking.
A hermit opportunist.
You have a talent hidden for the time being. You're very natural. I don't know. I'm gonna have to read all this. Maybe I'll summarize it tomorrow, and then if Landry's around, he can come up and talk about it, help me figure it out. And hey, Spike,
Yeah,
welcome.
yeah.
But I don't really like the panelverse politics affect you as much as you let it, and I don't get involved in a lot of the panel drama. I watch it from the sidelines, and the little bit of panel drama I have, everybody knows where they stand with each other, and we pretty much stay out of each other's way unless we cross paths in a chat room somewhere.
Right. So, you were saying that the people were like losing confidence in you or something, or you were losing confidence in yourself because they were questioning you or something. Isn't that's kind of a little bit of
Oh,
panel
you mean the
politics at work?
work
Yeah.
stuff? I'm in that position I took. It's a very weird position, and it comes with all kind of additional duties that, to me, that role is not equipped for. It's not even the right person for the job. So they have me in a role. It's a systemic issue. It's not any kind of personal or personality issue. It's the
How
way this
many?
job is structured. It has me in a position of having to do some leadership outside of my expertise, and there's no clear guidance for that. And they wanted some type of leadership, or it seemed like they did, different than I was able to provide, but nobody's going to be able to provide the right kind of leadership the way this role is structured. But at the same time, you're held accountable to as a leader. Like the standards they hold you to are the standards they hold leaders to. So you like get there's consequences for things that there normally wouldn't be if you were just a regular employee. So it's a lot of responsibility and obligations and not a lot of clear guidance on how to actually do the job. And so it was just a confusing role to begin with. As long as I was doing my little part of it, I was fine. But the minute I had to do this other side of it that it required, everybody was, it wasn't just me, like everybody was just trying to figure out how to manage this weird quirk in this one particular job role.
So
And
you're stepping back from that a little bit.
oh, plus it's the work I was doing is changing to a different type of work that I'm going to be less good at. It's more like hands-on and detail-oriented, and I'm better with the people person. So I'm going to transition to a role that's stronger with customer service, which is what I was there for from the start. So I think this is going to have me working more from my strength, and it's going to put me in front of customers and people, and that's where I'm going to excel. Like if I have any chance of excelling there, it's going to be with customers. And so this is going to
So
give me way more of an opportunity to do that.
so were you?
It's just gonna be it's gonna be part time, so less hours and less money.
Yeah. When you were in the leadership role, did you actually have the ability to hire and fire people,
No,
or
no, no.
that's a
It was
problem,
a
right?
minor. I was a lead for a very small department.
Yeah, that's kind of like the Bill Parcells, thing where like you're the coach, but you can't hire, or you can't pick the personnel that that you want. You just have to work with what is given to you.
Yeah,
But if you can't get rid of the ones that aren't, say pulling their weight, well, that's kind of a problem, especially if you are going to be held accountable, right?
right. And honestly, it it was almost easier for me to do the work myself than to have a team to try to do it. The team trying to distribute it and coordinate it across the whole team was almost more challenging than if I just did it all. Just because I know what to do, I could time it, I can coordinate it when I need to, but having to like transfer that to multiple people and make sure they're all doing the same thing that I would be doing if I was the one doing it was it it wasn't necessarily harder, but it was less efficient to me
Hmm.
than if I
Yeah,
just did it.
I noticed that when I was doing computer networking too, or like corporate troubleshooting for like computers and stuff. I noticed that I had that problem too, where um, I literally would have to assign problems and tickets to the techs in order to get the work done in different markets, right? But it just seemed like since I had already a relationship with those people, like I knew like I just knew kind of their ins and outs and their lunchtime and whatever, like all throughout the country, that it would just be easier for me to dial right in the computer, know what their issue is, get it fixed, and then have it done in like 15 minutes than for them to be 2 hours on the phone with them, trying to
Yeah.
figure out what the heck is. So I understand kind of what you mean there, but how many people were you like
Oh,
trying to
just small,
manage?
like three, four, five, six
Yeah,
people max. But
yeah,
and it's supposed to be more like the more people you have, the more efficient you're supposed to be able to get. That's just more man hours to work with to get the work done. But it almost wasn't. It was almost more efficient for me, one person, to try to do as much of it as I could.
yeah.
And I don't know if that was a me thing or a team thing or what, but I just know that when I was doing the work, it seemed to go a lot smoother and faster than when I was trying to have it like get a team to all do it together.
And that day, I think Plastic Jesus was up there with you a good portion of that show, and it seemed like, I
Hmm.
mean, I could be wrong, but it seemed like you were a little flustered by just how how they were perceiving you at your work. Like like you thought you were doing good, but it turns out that they didn't think
Yeah,
that.
I still no, that really threw me. I still am. I still am. I
So
that's
how did you find out though? Like like your
I
boss?
did I didn't find out anything specific. I did apply for a position that I didn't get that to me I was more than qualified for. So that was one little thing, but that was just one little dot. Um, it's more opportunities that I hear about like randomly that I'm surprised that I'm not already included in.
Mm,
So there
yeah.
is kind of a or- s- almost all of this is my impression. I have almost nothing to go on but me trying to piece together things I notice and information I come across. That's it. It's nobody telling me anything or so this is pretty much all my own head. But I have a lot of experience in these situations. And this is very similar to experiences from the past that were the actual thing I'm talking about. But it does seem like there's kind of this, it's not an inner circle, but it's people that just work well together naturally. And um, I don't think I'm part of that.
Mm,
And there's certain like career tracks and developmental paths and tracks that you can be guided into or mentored into and all that. And I haven't, nobody's come to me about that. So
yeah. So is this all on-site stuff, or is there like different markets that you're competing or working with slash competing with, like or is it all in house, like one stop shop kind of a thing?
I don't know what you mean.
In other words, are there other markets that, like, you have a regional manager and a regional manager here and a regional manager there, and then
Oh
there's like
yeah, there's all of that.
okay,
It's stuff like that. So what I'm talking about is just my one. The only experience I have at all is my one
yeah.
store.
Do they do, some places go by seniority, some places go just by, social, like clicking, other people.
If I had to guess, I think it's what it always is. It's the combination of the autism and being from South Louisiana, which is a very different culture than a lot of Americans are used to. And that combination of things gives me a certain weirdness that they just don't know what to do with. And so they don't always see my strengths and my talents and my skills and what I'm capable of bringing because this noise like drowns all that out and that's all they can see. And so they don't think I'm as capable as my experience proves me to be.
Hmm.
And when I'm in those situations, that's kind of a red flag because if what I can do, what I can bring to the company is not even visible, then how am I going to bring any of it? Like how I'm doing it in a vacuum.
Yeah,
So I feel like I'm siloed into my own little world where I show up and I do my thing, but it's a tree falling in the woods with no one around to hear.
mm, but I'm willing to bet that, like, if, SHIT hits the fan, like, you're the guy that puts it all back together again, right? And then,
Yeah. Oh, it's
but
already
it's,
happened. That's why I want. That's one reason I'm stepping down from this leadership role because it's
yeah,
already they're
but
already coming to. They yeah. That's already started to happen a little bit.
yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, so here's another big question: is what's the ratio of, like, the female influence as part of that, or not?
I'd s- I worried about that going in, but I'd say it's pretty gender balanced, and it's like I said, we're so busy. We have leadership of all genders, and we're so busy. Whoever the leader is just focused on okay, how do we get this job done so we can go into the next. It gender almost doesn't even play a role into it
What about the
because it's
social
so like
clicks?
practical focused. Yeah, that
Yeah.
whoever you go to, they can get the problem solved or tell you what to do next or whatever. And that's really all you need.
How did you find out that they weren't as confident in you as you thought, or whatever? Was it your
I
boss
have
that pulled you in? Or?
other than just not. I guess it's two things: lack of communication. Nobody comes to me and talks to me or tells me anything unless they need something very specific. And knowing that there are opportunities out there and I'm either not being selected for or when I actively seek to be selected I get denied like this position I applied for.
Hmm.
So it's those two
Wow.
things. It's there's things I like I feel like I'm shut out of because I either don't know how to get into them or it's things that you need to be helped into and no one's coming to me and helping me into anything.
Are these positions somewhere else, like in a different region or different,
No,
like,
this is
physical
all.
location?
Every single thing I'm talking about is in this one building. I have zero experience outside of this one building. So whatever
Okay.
level is higher than that, I have know nothing about. This is all this one building on down.
Are any of those positions higher level than your current supervisors or managers?
No, no, I'm not
No.
even trying for a management position. I don't want management.
In
I'm
other
not
words,
interested
if you
in
got that
management.
position, would you have influence over the person who's your current manager?
No, totally unrelated.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Um, Oh, I had another question and I forgot it now.
I think the bottom line is, and this is just my subjective sense of things. I think that they think that I'm not gonna excel in front of customers. I can't sell things. I'm not gonna make the right impression. I think it's something social. I think it's something non-verbal. It's like they see that I'm competent. I can do the kind of work that they need me to do now. But positions that require some kind of social polish, I think they're nervous about. That's the and this is a complete blind guess. I have nothing to go. Nobody said anything. Nobody's made comments to make me think that way. This is me just, if I had to guess based on my past experience, my 16 years living up here in this culture, it's somewhere in that quadrant, that target zone.
Hmm.
But I
So I
don't
would
know.
say
I could be. It could be like they don't even think about me. They're not. I'm not even on their radar at all.
it could be that like I see you as a problem solver and not a salesman, right? And so
Well,
if any,
part of sales is solving problems. Like that's what you're there to do. I approach sales as how can I solve your problem, or how
right,
can I help you solve your problem.
but if we're talking low end like retail stuff, your problem solving in that regard is actually hindering you because you're talking people out of things. Whereas if you were in a Lamborghini showroom or whatever, and you had like top tier, high level, big earners coming in, problem solving their issues for them, they would really appreciate that versus like low end retail. Don't waste your money on this, blah blah blah. Or there's a difference. There's a difference in what is out there in the market in terms of the skin in the game investment and utility for a salesperson. Because if you're just all polished and show like trying to sell a Lamborghini to a $1 million CEO, he's not going to buy the bullshit because his job is bullshit. you know. But if you're solving a problem for him and you're filling in the gaps, then that's going to close that sale faster than just
What
some polished
problem is he
salesman.
trying to solve with a Lamborghini?
Um, versus say a Lamborghini versus a Ferrari or something, right? You'd like, well, you're gonna get more of this, you're gonna get more of that, versus that you're gonna have a little bit more issues with the suspension or the timing gears, that kind of stuff. Like being able to compare and contrast, knowing the date, actually knowing the data, uh, those kind of things that are practical and save time for that guy. That's just my opinion, but
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right. I've thought of that too. Like, am I it, am I frustrated because it is a lower level than I should be?
how much of it is sales?
Like aiming for. I should be somewhere where they have the type of problems that I'm good at solving. And maybe retail is just not that place. Like maybe they don't need my skill set. It's I'm overthinking it.
Hmm. You probably like if it's like sales or direct sales or any kind
It's
of something like
retail.
that, or if it's like
You go in the store and
yeah,
try to find whatever it is you're in there to find.
then you might you might in other words you might tell someone, well, come next week, and instead of like showing them this micro, let's just say for example like a microwave that's like kind of too small for them, but next week you're expecting one, you might tell them to come in next week and therefore lose that sale today, right? Kind of a situation.
Yeah, but I'm customer first, so it's not even about the individual sale. It's the customer relationship.
Right.
And if I knew their problem was they needed a microwave this particular size, and all we had was this other size, but then in a week we would have the size that they actually need that would solve their problem, I would not withhold that information. I would definitely give them that information.
Right. But then you never see them again, right? So it's like a bird in hand, or yeah, bird in hand is better than two in the bush. It's the old
But
saying.
that is I've empowered them to make a choice and decide for themselves. Well, they know it's coming
Correct.
in next week. They know we're going to have it. They can get it from us. If they find it somewhere else sooner, if they want to get, then they are the customer. They get to decide on that. But I've given them the information they need
Right.
from our store to make that decision
Yeah. But see, that's the
instead of
problem.
like falsely manipulating them into a sale by withholding
Exactly.
it so that they would buy the one that doesn't quite. Because all they're going to do is return it when they find the right one at some other place a week later.
Well, see, that's the
I'm
thing
just
though.
making more trouble for me and the store in the process by trying to take that shortcut just to get a sale.
See, there, but there's three assumptions right there. First of all, the assumption that they'll come back and buy that bigger microwave, right? The assumption that it won't fit their needs, and the assumption that it would be a return to come back and be a bigger hassle. Whereas most, like, low end salespeople, whatever, they just get that sale now, and who cares? Whatever happens, happens. So
So
that's the
you think
difference
the
between
customer, if they took the smaller one, they would take it home and just say, ah, it'll do and not bother?
right, and maybe it's $10 cheaper, and it's like, it's okay or whatever,
But
right?
then they have that associated with our brand now. Like, oh, I got this. It's not quite what I wanted. Came from this store. It was so. Like, I want them to have the product that says, wow, I'm so glad this store is out there that I can go in and get just what I need that satisfies what I'm looking for in a microwave.
Yeah, it's also an
It's
assumption,
about
but
quality. For me, it's about integrity. It's about customer focus. That I can't think any other way. It's just instinct to me.
yeah, I get you, man. That's why you should be in like a high end retail, uh, uh, customer service type of position. Like seriously, like super like high end auto sales or something.
Do they even
That's
have high end retail anymore? Or is it all
I think so.
automated? But see,
Yeah, I
that's
think
where
so.
you run into the problem that I think I'm running it at retail. Is that's where you have to know how to be fancy, and
I don't
I'm
know.
just not fancy enough for that level of society and customer.
I don't know. You might be right, but nowadays I think, like, if I'm a CEO, I'm that fancy salesman bullshit artist, right? I'm that guy. I want the guy who's going to be able to, like you, who's going to know the data, who cares about my long term uh, 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 happiness with the product, who I could call and say, hey, something's going on or whatever. He's going to tell me, yeah, this time, bring it in at this time, it's going to be ready at this time. And then, and be able to solve those problems like in a snappy and a jib instead of being, oh, yeah, you're so great. You're so smart for coming here. I don't know what the world would be like without you. You're just so great. About, that kind of guy. Like, because that's who he is already, right? Most CEOs are like that. So I think like you would be a definite, uh, what do you say? You'd be more useful to a CEO like that than
Well,
you
I
know.
wish find me one because I don't know where
You
they
know,
are. But
I'm just saying, like, it's probably just a matter of, heck, you might even have to go in there and and say, hey, I want to do this. Like, I'm determined to do this. I know that I can.
I know it
You know,
doesn't look like it from just talking to me on the surface, but I can really solve your problems and be helpful to you, and I'm the one to do it.
yeah,
But
that's
you
it.
touched on something that I think is at the root of all of this, and that's trust. Because every job I've ever had has required me to be able to build trust with the people that I'm serving. When I was teaching, I had to build trust with the kids. The mental health work, I have to build trust with the clients. And customer service is you're building a trust relationship with that customer. And I think long term. So I'm looking to build these lifelong relationship where they come back because of the trust we're building with each other. And so that's and I feel I try to do that as an employee too, build trust with my employer, and that's what I feel like is not happening somehow. I feel like I'm trying to show them the kind of employee I can be, but I don't know if they're trusting that I'm capable of being that employee, and then I'm starting to lose trust in their ability to trust me, and I can't trust people that don't trust me.
What's the turnover like over there?
I mean, it's retail. It's pretty. mixed. It's amazingly high. Like people come and go left and right. Like, but at the same time, there's this huge stable core of people that's always there. So
Hmm.
it's both.
Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah. So,
So I think it's gonna be better on my mental health if I just switch to some part-time basic just customer service and not get too involved in career path and career track and working to really show I just need to show up, do the job, come home. Because I want my focus to be this channel, my practice, and the other projects I have going. Like this retail thing was never intended to be a career. It was always just to help keep pay the bills so I could keep the stream going.
yeah.
I
Well, it was an
just it
opportunity.
turned out I got really engaged with. Like I poured my whole self into it, and I still do. I get a lot out of going there. I think it's one of the best, most positive things I've done for my life, my mental health, everything. And so
Mhm.
it became way more than I thought it was going to be going into it. But I don't see a path forward. Like I said, I feel like I'm in this little silo. So if it's this great thing, but there's nowhere to move, I'd rather just go back to just a part-time job and focusing on places where there is potential to grow and move forward.
So, out of the pool of people who were being promoted, like I'm assuming these are kind of like your
It's not
lateral
really
peers.
promotions, and I honestly don't know who these people are. I sense that they're out there, some
Yeah.
kind of pipeline that out there that I'm not a part of.
What's the
But
tenure
I like
of
I
like?
say, it's nothing concrete. It's I don't have anything to go on. There's no
Yeah.
people that I know of that are being promoted.
How long you been there?
Uh, Going on 7 months.
Okay. What's the longest tenure of someone who's like on your lateral peer level?
Oh, they've been people that been there 20, 30 years.
Dang, that's crazy right there. Like that long,
Yeah,
I would thought you would have said like
retail, like those of you out there, I want y'all to know, retail can be a legitimate career. You can make a career and retire from it, and it's a respectable job. It's I have a great appreciation for it. Um, just depends on how you wired or what you like to do, but it don't
mm,
overlook a career in retail just because you think it's beneath you or something low level or it's not. You can make a pretty decent career in retail these days.
yeah, it's tough though too because it's a lot of work. You probably need to be a manager at least of a store or of a section of a store for it to really be like a career. But it's a
I
lot
mean,
of
I
work
guess it depends on
because
what your personal goals are. Because the
yeah,
managers, I watch what they do, and I decided pretty early that it's not something I want to do. They work their asses off. They
yeah,
work so hard. They they're they're there for way more hours than the other employees. They have way more responsibilities, and my hat's off to them. Anybody that can step up into that role has my
definitely,
respect. But
definitely.
it's a commitment, and so depending on what kind of personal life you have, some people may decide that's not the kind of investment that they're up for making, and I'm one
Yeah.
of them.
And it depends on where you're at, but like if your outfit's, excuse me, closing at like 11 o'clock, you have to make sure that the barn is basically straightened up and ready for show, right, the next day, which is actually surprisingly, it's a lot more work than you think. And then every week they're always coming out with new promotions, and so you're always rotating these like promotional things like
Hmm.
within the store, and banners and posters and all kinds of stuff, right? And then you have the holidays, and so it's just a constant rotate. Like it's a constant rotation of change, basically, that you have to
It's
get
a
used to.
fascinating machine, actually. Like being inside of it and watching all of these moving parts from like the corporate level on down. It's just astonishing to see, and this is just one company, how humans can come together and organize themselves to get shit done,
Yeah.
so that a company can be reliable to the public.
Yeah. And nowadays, like just renting a store or having the a real estate, having a physical location is, I bet you that having a physical location is probably every year or every quarter at this point looked at as being chopped or not. You know, just the cost of rent of the, what the store's bringing in versus, expenses. It's not like it used to be. Like you had to have a store to sell stuff, and now it's not like that. So like it could change overnight. It really could.
It, I mean, retail is dying, at least in person. Retail malls are dying. Shopping centers are dying, or changing. You could say either one, but the traditional form of it is
Yeah.
morphing drastically.
You and I are like about the same age, so I don't know if you remember, but like, between like say 12 and like 15, 16, whatever, like you would go to the mall and you would hang out, and that's where all the kids were, and there was like a movie theater there,
Yeah, you can
and
spend all
like that.
day at the mall, an entire day at the
Yeah.
mall.
Now it's like it's empty. Like you see like just a few people walking around, and like the stores are, it's very strange. Like that used to be the social like hub of
I know.
everyone.
And
Like
now it's
and now it's
YouTube.
like that's where you would like sneak off with like a girl and find a place to go like make out, or
And
match
that's
or
where
whatever.
you talk to, like you'd go to see people and meet people and talk to people, just like we do here. Like that was the Panover. If there was any
Yeah,
kind of public square, it was the mall.
yeah, and yeah, and then you would see a movie in between, right?
Yeah,
Like
movie,
whatever.
the food court. They had the arcade. All like you could seriously. They had
Yeah,
colored fountains and just all kind of stuff to see and do. Some of them
yeah, the
had carnival
arcade.
rides inside of them.
Yeah. So anyway, uh, one thing about you, Jeff, that I always loved is like you're always objective. Like you don't get too caught up in the emotion or the drama of any given situation. So like if I bounce something off of you, whatever, I know I'm getting like the brass tacks, truth of the matter. So I just want to say I appreciate you for that, and I want to say that in order to bring up, Martyr Man Lose Again, our buddy Landry, and he's coming in like just like an anomaly, right? And so he's getting kind of an objectified outside perspective of things, and he hasn't really yet declared too much. I mean, he kind of has, but he hasn't like made a final decision declaration of like the whole Panoverse phenomenon. And I think it's kind of wait and see, but I think
Oh,
that he can
he
probably
sure spends
offer,
a lot of time in it.
yeah, I think he could offer probably the most objective opinion on what's going on more than anybody at this point because we're
I
all in
don't
it.
know because the people he like chooses to follow, like that he sees something in and chooses, are just people that I just wonder who even takes them seriously. So, but what
Yeah.
hang on, you said something. It'll come back around. New to the Panelverse. Oh, yeah, he comes from some other community though. But
Oh, the flat
before
earthers.
what
Yeah.
it what it? Oh, is he a flat earther?
Well, I don't know if he is, but he was doing editing, a lot of editing for that guy, Jaron.
Because he comes from some other sector that has drama and politics and all that stuff. So he's not, even though he's new to the Panelverse, he's not he's not a newbie.
Yeah, he was doing editing work for Jaron, which was, he's kind of like he's one of the big guys, or was one of the big guys in the flat Earth. So he wasn't directly accessing, I would say, the drama of the panel or the of the flat Earth, verse, whatever, in chat or whatever. But he was doing a lot of the behind the scenes work for it, and he saw it, but I don't think he was entrenched in it, which is what he's getting into now. And so, it is kind of new ground for him because even just joining, being a panel slut or panel walker or whatever, comes with politics, which is something that I didn't expect. I just thought you go up on a show, you say, hey, I appreciate your work, I like you, I like to talk to you. Let's, talk with me, blah blah blah, and that would be it, But no, like, it comes with a whole lot of like,
Yeah, but you don't just do that.
who me, myself.
Yeah. Is that
Well,
who you talking
depending on
about?
the person, I mean, depending on the person, like, my thing is, trying to convert people to Jesus Christ, but uh, otherwise, I'm just going to troll them. Otherwise,
Convert
that's
or be
it.
trolled.
Convert or be trolled.
Trolling
That's
for
funny.
Jesus.
Resistance is futile.
Oh,
But
Jesus for the
unless I have an
moderators.
interest in trolling you or converting you, like, then I'm not going to really panel you unless, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure actually, but uh, anyway, I forget what I was saying.
Do you think you
There's
can
just there's politics. There's a level of politics that comes with just joining a panel. Is what I'm saying. Like, I didn't
I
expect
want to
that.
talk more about this because I know plenty of people who manage to just sit on panels and kind of not be noticed or remarked upon. So I think it's more than just being on a panel. But I have to pee really bad. Do you think you can monologue for like 45 seconds or so?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to turn you over to DeFreak and I will be right back, folks.
Let's see who we got in the chat. Shout out to chat. It's like I'm showing about 10 people. So I don't see much activity in the chat since about half hour ago. Chuck, Hollywood, Moonrocks. I don't really know Moonrocks very much. Maybe at this point, people are just kind of like, listening to us, like, and going to sleep. But, one thing I'm wondering, Jeff, is if you're going to be streaming more and if it's going to be kind of like, at this time, because that's usually when I'm up and kind of paneling around or like at least searching around or just watching videos and stuff like that or doing those kind of things and like doing chores or whatever. I'm finding myself during the daytime a lot more like sleeping, and that's also kind of a secondary effect of living in this heat out here in Arizona where it gets so hot during the day. Like, you could like literally have heat exhaustion or heat stroke even, if you're working too hard and not staying hydrated, not having the right blood sugar levels, which is actually a real thing. Like, you could have a heat stroke and it'd be really serious. So that's the thing. But at night it's a lot. Um, it takes a lot less toll on your body, at least in terms of immediate shock of like overheating or getting that like heat stroke where you're like it's almost like you have 110-degree fever or something, and it can knock you out for like a few days even or a week. And so anyhow, yeah. I hope that it works out over there at your job. I hope that you could find someone to take a chance on you in like some like big market, like maybe like an RV sales or something, where it's going to be like the minimum purchase is going to be like $50,000. Because that would, with your skill set and your mindset, like long term, having the heart, having the knowledge, it's a lot less fickle. Like, you have to have the meat and bones, like knowledge to be able to close those deals. Some fancy smoosher isn't, yeah, it helps, but they're not getting the job done, at that level, because people
Oh, I
know a
forgot my
bullshit
headphones.
artist when they see one.
I'm I'll be back.
Halo. So anyway, are you back? All right. Well, maybe not. Oh, it looks
All
like I
right.
got Outer Light in my chat. I'm restreaming, so
Yeah, who
shout
is
out to
that?
Outer Light. He's a character, but shout out to him. You know, he's
Hello, Outer. Okay.
he's been a partner in crime over at the Atheist channel one
You've been
time,
fighting with
but
the atheist?
well, yeah, you know, pretty much, you know, that's probably my primary function out here is trying to convince people, you know, to even. It's so hard though, like even to get them to consider anything because people are just, you know, they're a
That's
worldview is
sales.
something that has to be protected at all times by the ego. And if you break the worldview, then you almost break the ego. And then, you know, someone goes into that, well, who am I? You know, that lack of confidence of who I am, the identity crisis, and nobody wants to be in that position.
Yeah, but I think there's opportunity in that position too. That's that creative chaos I was talking about earlier. Or like where you use your crises as a platform for further growth. You use
Yeah.
it as opportunity instead
If
of
that means
adversity.
becoming vulnerable and being exposed and being, you know, possibly like made fun of or whatever, or just being exposed and you know, but that's where that creative growth comes from too. So I find that usually most people don't want to go there. They just want to they want to be right. They want you to be wrong, and they just want to march on pretty
Most people
much.
just want to live their lives.
Yeah.
What we were talking about how like going on a panel involves you in politics.
Yeah. I guess they call it gatekeeping. You know, that's one part of it
Oh.
where like if I went up on Tommy's panel or whatever and this like way back when or whatever, and Paul saw it, or so, this is just a hypothetical example, you know, then if I go onto Paul's, he's going to be like, hey, you know, what are you doing over? You know, he's trash or whatever. I don't like him. Or, you know, don't go over there. Actually, now you know, what I call it nowadays is I call it Hank keeping. You know, our buddy Hank,
Is Hank
because
does Hank do that or they do it to
no,
Hank?
they do it to Hank. So it's not gatekeeping; it's
They
Hank
definitely
keeping.
don't try it on me.
Yeah. So there's a lot of hand keeping. That's like the first level or the first way of it, you know. But then it morphs into like because you know there's like social cliques within the like a cult. If there's a cult, there's a social clique of other broadcasters that are with that cult, and so you can't go outside the cult, or you get kind of either rused, or you're not part of the group, or you know you get hand keeped basically.
Who are the who's the current cult network?
Uh, You know, that's a good question. Actually, that's a good question, and it's funny. It's funny. It's a good question, and it's. I think Landry has kind of blown that up. Like, there's no
Oh,
real click. Of everyone is separate right now, and I think Landry had a part to do with that. Like him coming in, kind of like as the shooting star, you know, kind of blew up the whole click, the whole social click, the cult of personality stability. Like it's all over the place right now.
how did he do that? Like when you say a cult of channels, I imagine they're all coordinating on Discord or talking offline together. Like they have something going,
Right.
but outside of the streams. What did he? How did he blow up?
Well,
Or what did he blow up and how?
you know, he first came in and he was like Jack's moose, basically, right?
Oh
He was
right.
gonna he was Jack's moose.
Jack didn't Jack fly to Dallas to meet him?
I think
Like it
so.
was it was more than just YouTube talk.
Yeah, I mean, he may have had other things going as well, but he kind of packaged it into like one trip, I think. But so he came in as the kind of like the anonymous, anomaly Jack Moose out of the blue, and the first thing that did was displaced King Stephen. Vanity was out as the self-proclaimed co-host of Jack Talcott at that point, right? So
Wait,
that's the
King
first.
Stephen?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that. Well,
Well, you know how I call him Vanity. You know how he was like the self-proclaimed co-host of the Jack Talcott show, like that whole thing,
because that was one of the few panels that would even let him on.
right? So, but he would, be there and he would do his disingenuous, like, oh, I love Jack, you know, but I, make fun of him and I do my, I punk him on my channel, kind of the thing, right? So, that Landry blew that up. Like that was like the first thing to go. Like one of the
He
first things
got
to go,
Stephen off the channel.
right? Because he was no longer basically welcome as like the co-host or whatever. So he flamed out or whatever. And I don't know if he's back or not. I doubt it, but so he's not part of that anymore. So that's one thing. So that social connection kind of snapped off right away. Okay, and then
So
when
were you saying Talcott and Stephen were part of the cult together?
no, I'm just saying
Oh,
that Steven attached himself or leached himself onto Jack
oh
Talcott.
yeah, or really whoever he can.
Yeah, pretty much. And so that's just one. That's just one kind of faction of the Panelverse that got severed by Landry, right? Which is, let's just say about 40 people ish. Okay. I don't know, maybe like, 20 or 30 people. I don't know. But like, Vanity would bring, let's just say 20 people over to Jack Talcott or whatever. And they would like, watch Steven.
Landry, bringer of chaos. Now we're in that chaos I was talking about.
Yeah.
So what else? Like what was the next severing?
Next thing would be, so, okay, at that point, what you had, and this is, I could be wrong about some of this stuff, but then you had Paul hanging out with Landry after Jack Talcott. So like
Like he
you have
swooped
night,
in after Jack.
yeah, you have nighttime Paul. I call it nighttime Paul hanging out with Landry after Jack's show, like during the day, right? So at night, Paul would hang out with Landry and they would talk or whatever, and it was real casual. It was like friendly, and they were just bonding and talking and throwing out ideas, bouncing them back and forth, kind of like what you and I used to do. Just like kind of what we're doing now. And so eventually, uh, Jack assumed that Paul was poisoning the well against him, against with Landry, because he was hanging out with Paul. Okay, that wasn't necessarily the case, but once it was brought up, I think it started to be the case. But the thing is, uh, the nighttime Paul with Landry was really making Paul actually a relatable person, like a human, and not so much, the bulldog that we see at the daytime Paul. And so, like, there was some good things that came out of that. So the next is, I think Landry did get influenced by Paul, and then Jack and Landry had some little issues or whatever, and that was probably, I'd have to say, some of that was probably Jack's fault. And so, uh, you know, the Paul and the Jack Talcott uh, severed, got even more severed, I guess you could say, because they're on it again, off again, right?
All of them are.
All of them are. But Paul brings about, let's just say Paul brings a good 50 people with him, like as part of his cult, like his part of his faction, right? So that's he carries a lot of influence in that regard. And then what you had after that is uh, Powder Dusty, and he came in and started to schmooze with Landry a little bit, and so what you literally had was Paul and Flow State fighting for the heart and mind of Landry. Okay, And that was an interesting thing to see. Like it was like they were literally, saying "pick me." They were basically pick meing Landry, pick me, Landry, pick me. This is just some new guy, right? Like
What is the draw up to like what? Why Landry?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's an anomaly. It's like it's a. I mean, it's not like the guy's flashy or charismatic, or he's just kind of blah. But he does have some he has some back end skills that make
Yeah.
him useful, right? But he's not like a primary broadcaster that is out up front and is the leader of any flat Earth movement or
Well,
any
that's a
like
credit to Landry that he's made quite an impression.
it is it could be the favor of God. It could be it's just an anomaly at this point. You never know. But he literally had I wouldn't say Flow State was like pick me, pick me. Flow State was probably doing it more for entertainment, just to fuck with Paul. But
Who did Landry end up picking?
well, it's day to day at this point. I think
Oh,
it's it's literally I think day to day right now because you can see Paul go up and Landry will want to side with Paul, but then what happens is Paul will be Paul, and it's for two goods something will he'll do something and it's like it just turns you off a little bit, and then Flow State. I'm not sure how the relationship is. I think it's really casual. And so you still see Landry kind of, and he even said it himself, he's a fence sitter. So I think it just depends
oh,
on if whoever's talking to Landry is whose side he's on at the moment.
oh!
Does
I
that make
see. Well,
sense?
at least he knows that about himself.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I saw he and Moose were doing something, and they've been going up and down too.
Oh yeah, I think so. To me, I see Moose and Landry kind of as the same skill. Well, not the same. They're similar in their role. Like they're number two, they're a producer. That's in my
Oh,
opinion, But I would say that they're more of a number two, is a support person than a number one that have the ability to be number one. The difference between Moose and Landry is Moose can sell and isn't ashamed to like, hey, send me money or send them money or
that's
like, if,
right. But send me money, by the way. I forgot. He's trying to teach me how to sell.
yeah. So he knows how to sell, whereas Landry is looking more for meaning and purpose at this point.
Oh, I see.
So what do you think? Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, did we leave anybody out? It seems
Let me think.
Talcott, Paul, Moose, King Stephen, Flow State. Is that the panel verse? Did he do anything with TML? Oh, he and TML had
Oh
some.
yeah, yeah, me TML
Yeah, I
got into
forgot
it a
about
little bit.
that.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's too much of a factor at this point because Landry. I think ultimately Landry will be attracted to TML because TML has like he talks about like the meaning of life and philosophy and like purpose and stuff like that. And I just think they get off to like a personality clash or something.
Landry does that. I noticed because when I first met him, he was going around calling Chuck a liar, and then he thought Moose was a snake. So he has these really snap, harsh judgments about people, and then he gets to know them and walks them back. But I don't know what initially prompts the extreme
Yeah, I'm not
judgment.
sure either. Could be influences of others. It could be his
Oh,
personal direct experience. And the thing is, like, we're all just human, and things change all the time, and loyalties could change all the time. And like even at your workplace, like in retail, it's literally day by day, but sometimes it's literally minute by minute. Like in terms of, do you think you're gonna get fired or not? Like, am I gonna get fired today, or or am I gonna get fired next, in the next 30 minutes? That's how like life is right now.
oh, not mine. I wouldn't work a job where I was gonna think I was getting fired every 30 minutes. That would be stressful.
Yeah, definitely stressful, but it's definitely a thing.
Yeah, I'd probably end up leaving.
Outer like little sus. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
who
you know
is
what?
this?
He's a Christian. He's an interesting character. Like he's got a wild testimony. He likes to LARP or he's an awesome troll for a Christian because he can man he's I don't even know how to explain it, but he's a complicated character. Like he can break down your worldview because he knows all the ins and outs of like Christianity and everything, and he
Well,
can
come up,
also
Outer Light.
yeah, come on up, dude. But he's also he can also like totally like flame out and be a larper and be
What's a
sort of like
LARPer in this context?
um that guy Birdo or whatever that used
Oh
to
my
hang out with
God,
the
yes,
Rada.
yeah.
Birdo, he could be like a Birdo.
Oh,
He could be like a worldview Christian Birdo. Is it Birdo? Yeah.
oh. Well,
So like he could flame out on you, or he could really connect with you. He's a dynamic personality, but usually he's operating in sarcasm and trying to knock you off your square. If
well,
that
I'm not
makes
even on a
sense.
square, so don't waste your time. I'm just. And the squares I am on, you're not going to knock me off of.
I don't know. You know what? Just the fact that you said that, I just bet. So he's probably saying to me like little sus because you're the gay Satanist. What do they call you? What does Snafu call you? Gay Satanist something? I forgot what
I
it
don't
is.
remember.
Mental health or what does he say? I don't know, something stupid, but
Speaking
yeah.
of,
So
there's something I want to. They were talking earlier in some stream about my mental health credentials, and I'm not a therapist and all that stuff. I have said over and over 1,000 times, it's even on my website, I am a certified peer counselor. You could look it up, the profession. It's not even that hard to get. I've never pretended to be a therapist. That's always been my credential. I've so whatever, I don't know how people stay confused about something so simple. So I want to clear that up for everybody. I'm not
yeah,
out here pretending to be anything. I'm a peer counselor. I've always been a peer counselor since I got certified. I started this channel as a form of peer support. I've done I can't even count how many streams about it, and I've never pretended anything other than that. Y'all can go back and watch yourself. Thank you very much. Go ahead, freak.
yeah. It's probably just Snafu is a
It's a
narrative
bunch of drunk,
creator.
confused people that are
Yeah,
like trying to find drama that's not there, because that's all they have.
definitely, definitely. And a lot of times the flesh just needs to feel like it's better than other people. So if you're a gay Satanist and you're supposedly a Christian like Snafu, which is a fake Christian, then you'll use anything to prop yourself up or make yourself feel better. You
I
know.
don't know. I would Snafu is not the person I would send door to door.
No, definitely not. That would definitely be a bad thing.
He's the kind of if he's a Christian, you better keep him in the basement.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a label I wish he would drop because, well, but he probably won't. But I don't know. But you know what? He was going after. You know who the Star guy is or whatever.
Who?
Star. He's got like the. He's got kind of a. Darn, what are those shows? Now I forgot. This is
Never
like
heard of him.
shit show. He's got basically a panel verse of his own over there, but he pays for the drama for these content creators to like make drama, and it's a whole drama verse, panel verse. Jerry
Oh,
Springer,
like with money funding, like
yeah, like
oh wow.
it's like a Jerry
Yeah, they get it for
Springer.
free here. You have
Yeah, they get it free here, but it's like a actual funded operation over there, and they'll get like 1,000 people on a live, LARPing and panel versing and drama versing, live real time Jerry Springer style,
Oh,
with actual content creators who are pretty talented, but sometimes it's just they're just sniping and trolling each other, and that's the whole gig, the whole rig, or whatever. And you know who Grace Thorpe is, right?
oh
Then
yeah,
Grace.
yeah. I'm familiar with the
So at one
Thorpes.
point, yeah, at one point she was going to join that team and be one of those drama larpers, but it didn't work out, right, for one reason or another. And so Snafu started going after that crowd, and I actually found myself like cheering them on, because like, leave us alone and go after the Gene Stars. I'm good with that, but I don't know where that's gonna go.
I guess I haven't found anyone yet that I hate enough to wish Snafu on. I don't really have a lot of panel enemies.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Although
I would say that's
Snafu would
pretty
be one of them.
accurate. Yeah, I'd say that's accurate. Definitely. So
Mostly because I don't care. I don't get as wrapped up in the drama here as a lot of people do. It's not. It's not like the center of my world.
how long has it
When I
been since
turn this
you've been?
thing off, I can walk away from it and forget
Yeah.
about it and wipe my brain clean of it.
Oh, you don't care about us? Are you?
I
I'm gonna
do,
do.
but
I'm
not
gonna
to
say it.
the
I'm gonna do it out
point
of
of
like.
getting enmeshed in the drama that goes on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it out of
I,
like. Oh, so you don't care about us now? What are you saying? You don't care? That's not
I
what you would
watch
do.
it from the balcony like the old man in the Muppets.
Yeah, that's cool. Uh, oh shoot, I had a question now. I forgot. Darn. Um,
Snafu,
yeah,
drama,
Snafu.
LARPing, YouTube.
Oh, do you think you're going to be broadcasting at like this kind of hours now, or this is just a
I
this was
don't know.
just a
This is
random
a
thing?
fluke because I slept. I came home and took such a long nap and woke up late. But with the new, if I do this part time thing at work, I still don't know what it would mean for my schedule. Part time could mean over 30 hours. It could still take me away
Yeah,
from streaming.
anytime.
But depending on what the new schedule does, I might have more time to be flexible with the hours. Right now,
Mhm.
I'm pretty constrained to streaming in the evenings.
So, when you were doing your teaching, was that in New Orleans, or I mean, in
That
Louisiana,
was
or
in
was that in
Vegas.
Washington? Big. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they were very desperate for teachers, so they hired me.
Do you think you would ever do that again?
I loved the job. I would not do it in a traditional school. Just the red tape, the bureaucracy, the
Mm.
also with teaching, I was good with my students in my own class, but teaching is kind of you're part of a larger team. And unless all of the teachers are all doing it right, it it's frustrating for like me to be able to do this, but then they don't get the same teaching when they leave my classroom. So part of it, like I felt like again, like at a lot of my jobs, I felt like I was doing it in isolation.
Hmm.
And so the bureaucracy for sure, I would not want to be a part of. Plus, like now with how woke everything is, there's no way they would let me near a school or kids.
Hmm. So, what at the time, where was Vegas in terms of rank of
We
education
had
system?
just beat out Mississippi.
What does
We
that
were the
mean? Like the
bottom. We had
low
hit the
end,
bottom.
the
Mississippi was
bottom?
number 50, and when I was teaching,
Holy
Mississippi
smoke!
moved up to 49, and Vegas dropped to 50.
Holy smoke!
Yeah.
Wow, Arizona's right there with that group. By the way, we're like 10th. We're like 10th in revenue and 49th or fifth. Like 49th or
Oh,
48,
y'all are
and
at the bottom?
we're at the bottom in terms of money spent.
Yeah,
So we'll,
it was bad, and I
yeah,
don't even know this. And this was before No Child Left Behind. That started when I was teaching. Like my last year of teaching, they were rolling that out.
wow,
And so I was leaving just as that was coming in. And I got a little glimpse of the future,
wow.
and it was
So the
already
teachers,
bad. Like there was no doubt this was going to make it worse.
Were they unionized, the teachers then, or is it
I
not union?
think I think they were. I don't. I wasn't in it because I was just a sub, but I think there was a
Yeah,
teachers union.
yeah,
It was just mostly babysitting. Like they just needed a body in the classroom to take care of those kids for how many hours a day and get them home safely. And
yeah. Just making sure the state didn't get sued, basically.
yeah, it was that kind of stuff. And the discipline was they were very um they had entire departments that did nothing but discipline.
Mhm.
And they were very skittish about discipline. So to me, the kids did not, the schools did not have the discipline that they probably should have had.
What about the teachers? Were they more afraid than the students of getting disciplined?
I don't
Probably.
know. I think I don't. I can't tell if it was fear of the students or fear of the parents or some combination of both. But they were just really hesitant to overly discipline a kid,
What
and
about a
so
teacher?
the consequences were very light,
Yeah,
and it made it hard to like keep classroom management and stuff
yeah.
going.
So if a kid acted out and did something stupid, how often would the teacher get blamed?
Oh, they didn't blame me at all because I just sent them out the classroom. They would go to the dean's office.
Yeah,
They had a whole office of. They had like a dean of discipline, an entire office of like 3 or 4 deans in there to just handle incidents throughout the day that came up with the kids. So you'd send them to that office and they would take care of it. But they wouldn't do anything. They'd be right back in class either that day or the next day.
right,
So I'd have to keep sending them out, sending them out, sending them out. And I'd do it as many times as I needed to. I didn't care. If they were not dealing with the problem, that wasn't my problem. It just
yeah,
wasn't going to happen in my classroom.
right. Because all it takes is one disruptor, and the whole class
Yes,
goes to,
yes, yes,
you know,
yes. And
goes
I
to
should
like
know because I
the sue.
was
Yeah,
often that one disruptor.
yeah. So what made them the bottom of equal with Mississippi? Was it the testing or was it the money spent?
I think it goes by test scores.
All right.
I don't know what specific metric they were
Yeah,
using, but it
because
was
you'd think with
grades or
the
test scores or something like that.
yeah with the gambling, an actual state, income, that education spending in Vegas or Nevada would be not an issue, but
Well,
I
the
guess
school board had like marble, the school board building had like marble restrooms with gold taps on the faucet, everything.
hmm, wow,
So the money was going somewhere. It just wasn't
yeah,
going to, or the education wasn't happening. And I don't even know if that was a money issue because I was educating them just fine. And I mean, they were paying me this absorbent amount of money. So
wow,
it could be done cheaply with the right staff and the right teachers at the right level
right.
of competency. But I think that's the problem with education in general. The quality of educators that it would take to do the educating is what is it like the demand it is lower than the supply or something.
Yeah,
The supply of actual teachers that could teach is very low compared to the amount of kids that need the education. And so
what's
they fill in with varying levels of quality. And so some kids get just the bare bones education. But also, because a lot of education, in fact, I'd say most of it is intrinsic. The kid themselves has to do the educating. The teacher's just there to facilitate the process. So a lot of kids are going to get that on their own anyway, whether the teacher's good or bad. So it only really makes a difference for those kids like at the middle or near the bottom where a good teacher can make the difference one way or the other. Because the kids at the top are probably going to get it wherever these days there's like thousands of sources they can get it from. And the ones at the very bottom are never going to get it in any kind of system. And so it's really those ones in that mid tier that the teacher makes more of a difference than other factors.
So what's the turnover like for teachers in a school system?
I don't know. I haven't touched one since I left. Vegas. I looked at some of the charter schools in New Orleans, but I wasn't there long enough to really do anything with it. And then when I got here, Washington State is also very low near the bottom, which surprised me because it's a state that prides itself on its educational level. It has it's the state with one of the highest numbers of college grads, etc. So their public education is way lower than I thought it would be. And you have to have an actual teaching degree or be certified or whatever to even work in the schools as a teacher. So there was no reason for me to even get involved. So I really can't tell you much about the state of education since about the mid 2000s.
Yeah. But I mean, we know that it sucks pretty much all across the country at this point. Would you say that?
It
I
seems like,
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
seems like it, especially for boys.
interesting. Yeah, it seems like an indoctrination communist, camp, farm mining camp.
And then the universities are even worse for the ones that
So,
make it out of public school and end up just, I don't know, it further.
one of the things that going around and like being, I'm still a MAGA, like Trump, Trumpian, whatever, and like some of these, you know, TDS Trump hater panels or whatever, they always talk about like the northern border with Canada is like the new southern border in terms of like smuggling and drug running and everything. How many stories in Washington do you hear about where, you know, you're having illegal issues, you're having human trafficking issues, and stuff like that? Is it
None.
common or
None. That
because
I
like,
don't follow closely, but that nothing comes across my feed that stands out.
you still
And
hear more
this is
about,
a sanctuary city or state, and so it's very favorable toward immigrants. And I still don't hear any of those kind of stories.
yeah, but there is a there's a interface with Canada from Washington to Canada, right?
Oh yeah, I'm like probably just an hour or so from the border.
Wow.
What does MAGA mean to you when you say you're MAGA?
To me, it means it means common sense. It means good deal, trade deals. It means no nonsense foreign policy.
Nobody
It
would think
means
that that's what MAGA is.
no,
That's what somebody was talking about when they said MAGA.
no. I mean, what it means to me is that's what it means to me. Though is like just America first in terms of charity starts at home, which means good trade deals, fair trade deals, getting something in return for giving anything away, um, pushing our weight around in terms of foreign policy, which basically that just means asserting American values on other countries that aren't necessarily up to par, which is something that Democrats should actually be in favor of because they're always virtue signaling, all the time about whatever this or whatever that. But these other countries don't have that kind of morality compared to us,
So
in a lot
your
of ways.
MAGA is more like forward policy oriented than internal,
Um,
like MAGA in relation to
yeah,
the rest of the world.
yeah, I think so. Because if we're getting fleeced and screwed by everybody, it's just a matter of time before you're bled out, and then you don't have that beacon of light, you don't have that moral high ground, you don't have that leverage of virtue signaling to begin with. So all the virtue signaling that comes from the Democrats or the left is worthless without your own country, right? So if you're influencing other countries in sense of foreign policy and not just giving way to them, you're actually spreading your morality to the rest of the world that you are LARPing for anyway. They don't realize
Because
that.
does aren't some MAGAs for like a what do they call it, where you take less of an interest in world affairs and you focus more on just U.S. stuff? Like they think we should have even less influence than we do on the world, and we should worry about our own country.
Yeah, there's definitely that, but I would say it's more in terms of active like open-ended wars and conflicts in terms of military operations. So influences would be good, and less wars would be good. And I think mostly the MAGA foreign policy is like no more new wars, no more wars, but still, like I think at least equal fair trade deals is a big part of MAGA. And if we can even do like maybe where we get an advantage in a certain market, we're okay with that. But we've been getting the raw end of the deal for so long because these politicians don't know how to negotiate anything. That we're just happy to get a fair trade deal. We're like basically we all have a chance to compete. And if you actually have that, then you don't have to flood your labor market with a bunch of unskilled labor, bringing wages down, and while the life expenses are going up. So that's part of it. Uncle Fatty,
Oh, Fatty's here.
what's up, Slim?
Do not let the freak brainwash. He's not brainwashed. We're talking about politics. Fair
Jeff was already
trade
MAGA.
deals. What is there to brainwash over?
You were Trumpian anyways, like before the election, anyways, right? I mean,
Yeah,
Kamala
I
was a
more or
joke.
less still am. I mean, he's done a few weird things that
Yeah, definitely.
bother me, and sometimes I feel like he's being a bully and throwing his weight just to throw his weight instead of trying to do something sensible with it.
Yeah,
But I
he's
didn't
definitely.
expect less. I mean, I knew what I was getting.
Yeah.
But the stuff that I did put him in for, I'm very happy with his accomplishments.
Uh, the Trump troll is in full effect this term. Like, Canada being a 51st state, total troll. Greenland, right? Total troll. Uh, Panama Canal.
Yes,
What?
he's a troll. Yes, he put that. I
Yeah,
saw something today. He put some clip or video or picture of him with Chicago and the Department of War and all that. That's a total troll, and everybody's hyperventilating, freaking out about it.
yeah. So
Trump
he's
knows how
definitely.
to troll. He is a master troll,
Yeah,
and anybody
definitely.
that understands trolling can see what's going on with Democrats. It's the same thing that happens on here when the trolls do their thing.
So actually, that reminds me. Have you seen Mike Cerrone lately?
Just probably last time I think he was on Joey's last night. Yeah, he was because I tried to go up and he left
Joey, who's Joey?
Vegas Valley.
I don't know him actually.
He's like the drama. He's where all these people came from. The one
Is
that
that
ended
right?
up in prison and just got out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Joey
Oh,
D'Amico.
okay, yeah, yeah. I saw him. Where did I see him? I saw him on Canes. But
Yeah,
that was a while ago. Yeah. Okay. I've never been on his show
that's where
though.
Mike comes from. Is Joey's
Is that
community.
right?
Yeah,
What's
that's
his
where
channel
like
name?
half of these people come from.
What's it
So he
called?
was on there last night, I believe.
Interesting. What's it like, Joe Vegas or something, or what was it?
Vegas Valley Community Watch.
Cool. So you and Mike aren't getting along or anything?
No, I don't have a problem with, no. I don't have a problem with Mike.
No.
Why? Is that the draw? Is that the?
No, it's
I'm
not.
glad
I'm
you
just
came to the
wondering.
source.
I haven't seen Mike in a long time actually, so I didn't know maybe if he just fell off or something. But
No, he's all over the place. He's almost every panel I pull up, he has him on it.
we must be flying in different sectors for
We
the most
must
part.
be.
Then, yeah.
He's everywhere. Him and 111 and Dr. Chink. Those are the
So
new
Slim
stars
says
of the
there's no
panel
such thing
list.
as a fair trade deal. That's why we trade. Well, I mean, a fair trade deal is basically at least a level playing field where our our businesses have a chance to compete, on the same level as a foreign company doing the same thing has a chance to compete. That's all that means. That's really all that means. So, we've been getting the raw
But is
end.
that fair to have other companies compete with America, like on America's level, by
I
our
think so.
standards? That like it's fair for us.
I mean,
We're like the trans person in sports.
it's more fair for them actually because they don't have the regulations of your labor market to they can use slave labor in China and mass produce stuff and dump it here for zero cost,
Oh yeah, you have a good point. Like use your advantages.
right? And manipulate your currency and all kinds of stuff so that you have the maximum advantage and you're pulling more dollars than you're spending. Whereas the only way we could compete is to basically import fake labor and cheap labor, and that was the only way we were able to compete. So a fair trade deal protects you in terms of your labor market and just the ability to compete. And that's one thing. Trump, he's a businessman, so he knows that that's the case, right? And I'm definitely in favor of that in terms of being a MAGA supporter or whatever. Kamala, the Democrats like Kamala, these like she couldn't even negotiate her way out of a blowjob. Seriously,
I
like
was not impressed with her.
she was like terrible. Like
She couldn't even
what
negotiate her way out of an interview. All she had to do was answer questions.
it was awful. Like, so how are you going to deal with Russia? How are you going to deal with Netanyahu? These are stubborn, hard-headed. Flip.
What's been up?
Make me come over there.
No, stay right where
What's
you are.
up? Long time, buddy.
How you guys doing?
Just
Good. How are you?
chatting about
Summer.
Trump and Kamala. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, America is what are we the best at? What are we the biggest of? For sure. Like
Right
by
now?
far. Like and have always been, right?
Exporting war.
Well, we're the
Are you
biggest
talking about
consumer.
economically?
Yeah, we're the biggest consumers on earth, right? That's what we do. We
love our
consume,
Walmarts
right?
and our McDonald's
We
fries.
consume things, right? We want things. We want shoes with lights in
Our
them.
boo-boos.
We want frisbee discs and fucking boomerangs and koala bears and fucking Eskimos. We don't make anything.
Well, we sent it all overseas during the
Yeah.
was
Because
it the 90s?
well, just in general, like the more we pollute our own land, the more we realize that it's easier just to give that to somebody else so we can help them with their industrial revolution, right?
So what's the problem then? It seems like it's working like everybody
The problem is we just consume.
signed on for.
Like
I know,
even
but
what we
the
do,
more we consume, the better it is for everybody else because that gives them an economy to participate in.
correct, right? So like for instance, soybeans, right? Right now, a third of the soybeans in America are going to go that were going to go to China are not going to China anymore, right? Because South American soybeans are now cheaper because of the tariffs.
That sounds like a good business deal.
Sounds like a third of the farmers are going to go out of business and lose their land and their livelihoods.
What do you mean because of tariffs, though? Because our farmers are getting charged tariffs?
Well, there's four parts to this. Not only when we send our shit over there is there a tariff going that way too, right? Because it has to go both ways, right? So
Yeah.
So the cost of our soybeans went up
Why?
because Trump put a tariff on things in the name of trickle down economics, right? Which we know is bullshit.
So
That's not-
how did
that's
it
not
work
true.
before? Who grew all the soybeans? China?
The world, Brazil, us, and most of what used to be Ukraine.
And what's that changing to?
That's changing to now our soybeans cost more than South America's soybeans. So like literally a third of our farmers don't have anywhere to sell soybeans.
They cost more where to us here in the U.S. or if we export them,
When we export them,
they
there's a
cost more.
tariff going that way, so they pay more, right?
Why
The
would
thing
he?
is,
Why
though,
did
is
he
like,
do that?
not only that, but like we got the meat bill, we got the milk bill, right? We got the food bill. All these things like WIC and food stamps,
Yeah.
those are all subsidies for the farmers. Okay, so when the farmers can't make enough ends meet, right? We talk about it in the terms of subsidies and helping them out. We don't use rhetoric like welfare and handouts and government assistance and the negative connotation of all that. So when we have tariffs, we're bringing shit in, okay? The guy that gets the shit at the dock, he has to pay more for that shit to bring it in now. He's already made his financial decisions for the next 3 years, 5 years. Like, he's not going to adjust those numbers. He's going to pass that buck onto the consumer. Because tariffs are a tax on the consumer. Everybody knows this. The whole world knows this.
No, I don't know this.
Just
I
not
don't
America,
even know.
right?
I'm having a hard time following any of this, but that's my own.
As it comes in, the first guy to get it pays that tariff.
It's
If
definitely
I
crackhead
order
economics.
50 fucking t-shirts, right? I order 50 t-shirts to say "Eat the Rich," right? And I order them today, and they're $20 a piece. Then they have to get made, and by the time they get shipped here, a tariff gets put
From
into
China.
place. So now they're $25 a piece. And I ordered 50 of them.
That's a pretty decent price for a T-shirt. I've
It's
paid
decent,
more.
yeah, but a $5 jump on those fees in between.
So is the worst thing going on in your life right now is that you have to pay $5 more for a T-shirt?
Oh no, not at all. My fucking silver mine burned down.
What?
Yeah, dude, we got fucking huge ass fires going up over here.
Oh my
And,
god!
and we got
Is it
ICE
near you?
agents showing up and fucking hauling off dudes from the fire teams.
That definitely puts a T-shirt into perspective.
So like,
Are the fires being investigated?
yeah, should be. There's a lot of fucking weirdos fucking doing some weird shit over here.
Fire team. When you say fire team, in Arizona we use actual state prisoners for a lot of the fire teams.
Yeah.
So if they're deporting those people, that means they were already in prison anyway, right?
No, it's the private crews,
Gotcha.
and they're all. It's not the V1. It's some other whatever they got the deal to come in and work on the cruise.
6-month green card, something, whatever, migrant status.
Yeah,
status.
it's like the same visa thing. It's like the student visa deal, but
Yeah.
we used to hire guys to do the same thing for landscaping up here, but not this year.
But I think Slim, in your economic model, I think it doesn't make sense logically. But here's the other thing: you're not seeing the big picture on.
Because
Hold
nothing
on.
makes sense logically. Right?
Well, it doesn't. But here's the other thing: is if you look at the big picture and you start drilling and you actually lower the cost of energy overall, that tariff has no effect because your cost of distribution goes way down.
Right, but first of all, when Sleepy Joe left office, we were drilling more than we ever have. We were at record high numbers for drilling. We couldn't drill anymore because we didn't have anywhere to put any more shit that we drilled. Right? So we were already at a high, right? That shit goes into OPEC. We can't just flood the market with oil, bro. It's like power. Okay, all the dams in America only run a third of their generators. Because if they ran all of them, there'd be too much cheap power and they wouldn't make any money. Because it's a commodity, right? Food, especially soybeans, wheat, milk, eggs and cheese, right? That's all the subsidy that Republicans voted against because they don't want to give poor people a handout. Not realizing that the farmer was getting that handout to grow those crops for the poor people that he voted against. Right? Because they, them, and the others, right? They, them, and the others are coming for you.
Farmers grow food for everybody.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. But there's a commodity, right? There's a commodity market. It's like the stock market, right? We can't just go out and produce a bunch more stock for a company and flood it into the system because that weakens all the stock for that company. Same thing with power, same thing with wheat, right? Most of the fucking farmers, most of the land in America, more land in America gets subsidized not to grow anything.
Well,
Okay? Every 5 to 7 years, it's
thing.
like it's part of the regulations that like when you're growing certain things, you don't want to strip the soil of its nutrient. So every 5 to 7 years, they get paid not to grow for a year. On
And
that
they
certain
are trying to increase the market
why is that
price on their
bad?
product.
It's not bad. It's just the way it is, right?
Well,
So
I don't
we
understand
got to
your
take into effect that like the dairy subsidy, the WIC program, right?
Is that the government cheese?
Women, infant, and children. It's for single moms to get the milk, egg, and cheese subsidy on top of their food stamps.
So,
But see, food stamps are communist, and we don't want poor people getting handouts. Okay, right?
Okay.
So when we vote against that, we're also voting against the farmer that gets subsidized to grow those things that go into that system. Right? The whole system was designed this way because we don't want to just say we're giving the farmers a bailout. Right? The whole thing started from the whole bailout fucking snow. We don't want to just give them.
Let's just do another Farm Aid concert. Get all the old Heartland rockers together.
See, but-
Are you a farmer, Patty? I mean, Fatty. I'd love to
that's
hear
a
from
good
an
idea.
actual farmer because I'm just very confused listening to you.
It doesn't make any sense. And based on your model
Well, right,
and the
'cause-
tariffs and everything,
I
hold
just
on,
feel
hold
like
on.
there's information I'm
All it
missing
means
that
is
a
China
farmer
is
can
buying more
provide.
farmland. In your model, that's all that means, really.
Well, no, it's actually Blackstone that's buying it all, and Bill Gates, and Soros,
China.
and Peter Thiel. But like,
So Bill Gates is buying up all the farmland and something would like.
the billionaires are buying up all the
This
all the
sounds
broken
crazy
farm,
to me.
right?
And then when you say the system was designed this way, I don't think it was
This is the
designed
same
that
thing
way.
that happened in
It's a
2017,
reactionary.
bro.
It's more reactionary than the design. Like they were just trying. They patch shit up. They don't really like plan a system or whatever. It's just a matter of patching things, and then it just kind of morphs into something that screws
Oh
everybody.
no, it's definitely planned, bro. It's definitely planned. You convince the public, right, that things are really bad in a certain way that they're not, and then when you get into office, you play that out. You play that scenario.
You sound
out
like the
because
one
you're upset
convinced.
for that, right?
You've been propagandized.
Sure.
But
All
the thing
information
is, when you
I'm a professional propagandist. I mean, fuck.
Propagandee.
seriously,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
the thing
for
is,
real,
if you can lower the cost of energy for everybody, that brings all the costs down for everybody. That's the one thing. That's the one.
Why would a
common
corporation not want to do that?
default denominator, right? So
Right, but- Why would a corporation have any incentive at all to lower energy cost when they're in the business of providing energy?
because everyone is dependent on them, and that you can guarantee that 3% growth per year, which is basically all that any CEO looks for now. Is if you can get 3% year over year, you're happy at that point, which is so. It doesn't matter.
So how come every
People
2
still
years
need to
the
buy that.
energy companies get to raise their fees for
They're-
infrastructure that they're not really putting in? That
You don't
goes
have
into
to,
the
because
bigwigs'
what you
pocket.
have is lower energy costs, you have lower overall costs, and then you have more people investing and starting new businesses, and you have economic growth that covers that.
That's trickle down economics, bro, and that doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. It's good in theory. It really is. It's a great fucking theory. But rich people aren't dumping all of their money back in and creating these small jobs that is the trope of the argument, right? That
Not really, because what you have is you have middle level people actually starting an investment because everything's low cost enough that they can actually do that. It's not trickle down. It's middle
during the
up.
past 4 years, people were doing that.
I don't think so, dude.
Yeah, for sure,
You
bro.
know?
The fucking economy, the stock market was at all-time highs for 3.5 years, dude. But
Well,
nobody
that's been
talked about
going on
that because
for-
Biden was sleepy, right? And he smelled people's hair.
Well, that's kind of true, but
Yeah, it is. He was a weird old dude, but you know what he wasn't? He wasn't a wannabe king, dude. He wasn't a fucking narcissist who's never, ever, ever taken responsibility for jack shit in his whole life. He was a man that could actually say to the American people, as well as Barack Obama did, that, yeah, I know things are a little bit one way or the other. I know that I'm not doing things perfectly.
dude, I don't
One
know.
time, dude, name one time that the current president has ever taken
And all of
responsibility
a sudden,
for
that would
anything.
make you like Trump. That's all it would take.
He
I
did,
don't
like
believe
when
it.
he was on Rogan, Joe Rogan. He said he picked wrong people the first time. Like he listened to the Washington crowd, and he said that, hey, I picked some wrong people.
And
So
he
yeah,
shifted the blame, right? He shifted the blame to the other people. He never really took responsibility.
but you
He
can
did say that.
I mean,
He did say
that
that,
is
but he
kind of
never.
taking responsibility because you have to depend on other people's word and that in their
Sure,
sincerity.
but we know this man. He didn't take anybody else's word for jack shit. He picked who he
Well, then
wanted.
he wouldn't have hired those people though, if that was true.
And he told us at the time how great and wonderful they are. Like, for
Yeah, he's a
instance,
salesman.
the guy who's running the Fed right now, right? He's too late. What's his name? Too late. That's his nickname.
Joe Powell or something.
Yeah. Whatever. Fucking
Right.
Trump appointed this man in 2016.
Are you
Okay,
sure,
so
or-
like,
or
yes,
did he inherit him?
he's a Trump appointee. Biden never got rid of him.
Right,
Because
right,
you
but I
don't
think he was
you just don't
inherited,
do
though.
that to the Fed, right? The Fed is supposed to be its own neutral thing, right? We're not supposed to have our hands on the Fed. The Fed is supposed to be like watching the market and watching its own thing and not be like worried about all the talking points and shit.
Hold on, I need to look that up. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's the ultimate con artist, right? Oh, well, this guy, you appointed the motherfucker, okay? So how, it just doesn't. It just totally fucking surprises me how much water people will carry for this man. I understand that, like,
I
we all
don't think
want
it's
the
hard to
country to be
understand
better,
at all. It's not
right?
a surprise.
I mean,
You don't understand the effect that the left is having on everybody else.
no, I do. I do.
I think you still see
I
yourself
do,
as
but
the
like,
good guys.
we're coming into this point of, like, again, late September, Libra season, right? When Lady Justice shows up to weigh our heart against our soul. And every, late September, early October, what do we see with this guy? The same shit every year.
What happens in September?
It's the end of summer. Congress comes back in. We get threatened with a shutdown because nobody wants to work together. And next thing you know, somebody's going to court, getting in trouble. Libra season, dude, this is fucking...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's easy shit, dude. Late September is the time of judgment. It's the time of the harvest, right? It's the time to reap your harvest for what you've done for the year, right? The end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter.
Are you saying Congress is going to return and Trump's going to do something to Congress, or what are you?
It's just, yeah.
Okay. Well, I
You
guess we'll wait and
know
see.
the stars, right? You know the astrological signs.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Libra season is the time when Lady Justice comes to
balance the scales.
balance the scales of our harvest, right? And if our heart and our soul aren't the same, okay, so okay, we got scales now. We can understand the concept of scales. Well,
I know
when
the
one
tone
side
scale.
is flooding the zone full of shit, right? And the other side's just scrambling to keep up with all that shit that keeps coming into the zone.
But I don't
You
think
know,
that's what's happening.
It's like a diarrhea pump truck, bro. Pumping diarrhea into a fucking
I
swimming
think there's
pool. And there's
trucks
one
on
golden
all the
nugget.
sides.
There's just
all of
one
them.
little golden nugget in that whole swimming pool, right? And
And I
that's the
think
truth.
there's one that's leaking right now.
Yeah. But are you going to find the golden nugget or are you going to find the corn and the peanuts? Because that's the way Flood the Zone works, right?
I'm going for the goal, but
I know, but
probably
you know,
not
it's
there.
you never know if it might not even be at the bottom. That's a lot of shit to swim through, you know? These are the tactics that people are using against us, guys. Like, I
don't know
can
what
give
you're
a fuck less.
I don't feel like anything's being done against me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, right.
You're very vague.
How long do you got?
What's being done against you?
The tactics of divide and conquer are being played against all of us.
You don't have to divide. Like we get
No.
along. We're
Yeah.
not divided.
Right, but I recognize that there's tactics being used by those that would be
Yeah, but they're not Look,
against
they're not working.
those that would be. No, they're not. But they are.
So don't worry about them.
Like, why else would we have like?
I think you just like to worry.
No, it just
Like if you don't have anything to worry about, you find something so you can stay in that state.
I wouldn't say that. I know where you're coming from, though, for sure.
It seems like it. 'Cause
I mean, I'm a fucking Eagle Scout, and the whole thing is like, be prepared, right? Know what you're dealing with. Know your enemy, right?
But you can overdo that to the point of
Sure, of
like,
being paranoid freak.
unhealthiness.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I know your situation where you live. There's actual real world stuff to be concerned. Like it's not just
It's
imaginary.
fucking trippy, dude. There's a lot of weird shit going on over here again.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You know, I could give a fuck who they are and what they want to do. I'll stand up for their right to exist so that I can protest them.
That's
'Cause
the
that's
American way.
what we do. It's kind of the American way, right? We don't let our feelings get in the way of like, you're doing something that makes me feel weird, so I got to tell you to do something in a different way so I can not feel weird, because that's my problem.
Yeah.
Right. But right now, everybody's running around going, you make me feel weird. You need to fucking change.
Who's doing that?
Both sides, all sides. In general, like
I'm probably just ignoring it.
most of society. I mean, it's an underlying.
But you don't seem like
Causation.
somebody that would even listen. So I can't believe you're
It's not that I'm listening. I'm just
getting all this.
trying to stay aware of it. You know, and be aware of, like, great example. I told you this before, freak. The term psyop being thrown into society. The term world view being used again now in greater society. The term worldview has been used for thousands of years. This shit goes all the way back as a divide and conquer tactic of getting people to segregate themselves, right? Without telling them that you need to segregate, right? You keep throwing these mantras and these tropes into society that people pick up on.
I'm lost it. Wait, what? What was the little? I'm
Worldview, right? Everybody's about worldview. What's your worldview? You got to define your worldview if we're going to
You're
debate.
saying
right?
the term worldview is a subtle little trope that's
Yeah,
meant to divide us?
it's a divide and conquer tactic.
Oh my God, Fatty, you're not
For
gonna,
real. This is
You're
not
not gonna
me,
be
dude.
well.
This isn't me that's just making this shit up, Jeff. Right? Because like when we go to look for information, right, and we get to the first paragraph, the first, second, third paragraph, we find what we're looking for, right? Because that's the preamble to the whole thing. At the end of the second act is where you get the information, right? But when we go looking for information, we find what we're looking for, and then we just stop looking, and we justify everything off that. Right? The more we look into things, the more we actually like open our minds and try to accept other points of views and other gods potentially, and whatever it may be. Like,
If
you know,
there's evidence,
otherwise we're
sure.
stuck like putting 10 commandments in fucking public schools.
Well, I think they ruled that they couldn't do that.
Well, right,
Which I
because
knew that they
if they
would.
do that,
Like,
then the Church of Satan
Louisiana
wants
was one
to
of
have
the
their
states,
stuff there
and
too.
I said at the time it's not going to hold up.
No, it never does. But the
Okay,
subject keeps
Freak,
coming back up.
what's on the screen?
It's basically the leaders of Chicago and Illinois talking about the federal, what is it, the National Guard coming in and, you know, trying to clean up Chicago.
Is it what source is it? I'm worried about copyright. What
It's
source is it from?
Hook Global. I don't know. It's a live stream that they're just, you know, it's on repeat of the leaders.
I might,
you know,
just because
press
the
conference.
copyright thing. I don't know what the source is. So
I'm not sure
Yeah,
either.
the governor, the mayor, and a couple of city managers.
Yeah, the Senator Durbin and
if it was something
Senator,
like AP or PBS or something, I would risk it. Cause
all right.
Al Jazeera.
How about if
sometimes
I
the White House, they have a White House channel that sometimes puts out that kind of stuff, and that's public use.
I can hide the video and we could just listen to it, maybe? Does that work? Or is it the audio that's the copyright?
I'm not sure because it's just the audio. These are public figures talking.
Right. It's a
Yeah.
press conference.
Go to frickin' C-SPAN, find the raw footage.
All right.
C-SPAN.
But yeah, what were they talking about? What were they saying? Don't come into our town because we're not even in the top 15 of the worst crime cities in America?
Yeah, go to New Orleans.
Sure, yeah, they're like
Actually, they did. They
seventh
just
or eighth on the
arrested the
list.
mayor.
You know,
Did they?
why not go to Kentucky? Why not go to Tennessee? Why not go where like the actual number
Go to
top
Portland.
5 are? Unfortunately, Portland is top 5, but whatever. You know, Portland's always kind of been that.
If we all agree, then Portland it is.
Well, Seattle's already next. He already said he's coming.
Chicago's one of the
Seattle, too.
largest, though. One of the
Sure,
largest
but
cities.
Sure, and what's been happening in especially since 2021, you know,
I don't know what.
crime in Chicago's like
It's been
35%
forever though in Chicago.
where it was.
It's been pretty bad there for a long time, like
Yeah, for sure.
well before Trump even.
Systemic racism was a really bad thing there, for sure.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah, you know, redlining, you know, districting, all that stuff. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
This is a flex to get all the blue cities in line and show them who's boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're being.
And you think that Biden would have gotten away with like sending troops into red
Biden
cities
couldn't
because
pull
red
this
cities
off.
don't like me?
Biden couldn't do this.
Well, no shit, because no politician's ever done this. No president's even ever thought of this.
I doubt that.
I think people just want to be able to walk down the street and not worry about getting mugged.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely. Like Memphis, right? The #1 spot in the nation for that type of crime. Why aren't we talking about that? Because they don't have a black mayor that's been talking against the president, right?
I don't know.
Kind of weird that all the cities
Because
he wants to go
Chicago's
into
a lot
have
bigger.
black mayors that been talking bad about him. And, well, you know, we can't have that. I mean, let's just go into the Smithsonian too and just completely rewrite our own white history. Why not?
Fatty, I don't know what websites you follow, but that's
It's the
not
news,
what's
Jeff.
happening with the
It's just the
Smithsonian.
news.
They had all those woke exhibits. I covered some of them here on this channel. Even the left people agreed that they were stupid.
Sure. It doesn't mean we get rid of them.
They're
right?
really hard to defend for almost any person, normal, sane American person.
What that slavery was a bad thing, that the Holocaust
No,
was a
that
bad
chart
thing?
of like all the stuff that's white supremacy, like being punctual, logic. And it was
Reason.
a Smithsonian exhibit that it came from.
Mhm.
In fact, I'm going to find it. I'm going to show you the ridiculousness.
you know, it's the messaging as well as the action. When they're literally telling us that we're going to remake the Smithsonian according to the way that the president believes history was.
Yeah, I doubt that's what's happening.
Why wouldn't it not be? Like everything they tell us they're going to do, they do.
Why would it not be? It's not evidence of it happening.
So when people tell you what they're going to do, what do we usually do? We usually listen to them, right? And
Depends on who the person is.
sure.
If you believe
When
Trump
the
and
Orange
take him
Man
seriously
talked,
and
like-
don't think he's a troll, then I'd be all wound up too. All right, it's this thing. Rugged individualism, the nuclear family, his whiteness, scientific method, Protestant hard work is the key to success. That's all part of white culture that people have been indoctrinated into. This kind of stuff that needs to be taken out of any museum or school or
Unless it's
anywhere.
being used as a reference to show people how that system was used against the citizens. All of them.
That's not what
all
it's
of
being
us.
used for.
It wasn't in there just
Not even
like
close. It was being
as a
passed off
lefty
as
woke
factual.
fucking exhibit thing. That was part of a whole entire like thing, you know?
I think you're just
So,
a
like-
partisan.
Yeah. I don't like the fucking government fucking around with us. Either side. You know, but unfortunately, Biden pretty much had like an epic fucking run. For not having the House or the Senate, he got a ton of shit passed. He spent more money on actual things that help people, like the infrastructure projects, like the Chips and Science Act, like helping people with their fucking diabetic medicine. I mean, the list goes on, bro. Like, all the same shit that we saw happen in 2017 is happening again.
What did we see?
The farmers getting the shaft. Our food system's going to shit. All of our
food's been the same.
all of our like projects that got started during a previous administration, we just cut them off at the hip, even though like dude doesn't have the authority to do that. But you know,
Well,
we're
how
in
did he
this
get away with it?
good question, brother. Because nobody fucking called him out for doing it because he was flooding the zone
I
with
have a
so
hard
much
time believing
shit.
that. Nobody called Trump. All the people that hate him, nobody called him out.
Not in a legal way. Why not? Right? Why not? Because he had control of the what? The House and the Senate and the Supreme Court.
Well, why did they rule against him several times?
Over 200 times so far this year.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it's not making sense to me.
Everything he's done. Okay, executive orders aren't law, bro. This is the man's own words, right? Against Sleepy Joe, right? In the auto pen.
Well, I get that you don't like Trump. That's that much I get.
I really, really don't like the guys that are behind him. I mean, ultimately, he's just a fucking crazy old man that's being used because he's old and crazy. They know this, right? All they got to do is whisper in his ear, and he'll go out there and echo whatever they want him to. Very poorly, by the way. I mean, you heard the guy talk? Like, you
Dude,
actually
you
like
guys know
listen
Joe
to the
Biden,
man's
right?
They're good.
or like
Whatever,
read the
really good.
transcripts of like one of his speeches lately. I mean,
He's trolling you, dude.
I understand
I think
that
I'd be a
like
troll.
Sleepy Joe is old and kind of demented, for sure. Definitely, yeah. But
Okay,
to hold this
yeah.
other guy to a different standard, to a completely different standard, not only to where like there is no standard, but where I can justify my bigotry and my hatred for they, them, and the others, right? For me being on the right team, because I think my team's going to win, right? So we don't want to break our team. We want to abide by the 11th commandment, right?
That's assumption, though, Slim. And
What's the
projection,
11th
by the way.
commandment?
Yeah. Everything is, bro.
No, not everything. Just what you
Jesus.
think
In
the other
politics,
person's thinking.
yeah.
What is the 11th commandment?
Thou shalt not talk shit about any other Republican.
Oh.
You know, Ronald
you can
Reagan
talk
shit,
about him.
Newt Gingrich stuff. Like, it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
you mean in
do not break
public? Like,
rank.
don't
right?
badmouth your
Dude.
team.
No, you
If
always
that was
stand up
true-
for everybody on your own team. It doesn't matter what they did, right? You whitewash it, you throw it under the rug, you do whatever you need to.
That's the Democrats, though, Slim, because you wouldn't have
Is
the
it?
never Trumpers if that was true.
J.D. Vance was a never Trumper, dipshit,
I know.
right?
I know.
And so why would
Democrats
he,
are always
why
the
would
ones
he
that
have
don't
any
ever talk
interest
shit
at
about each
all?
other. How come
Any
no?
interest
How
at all?
come not one Democrat called out the Governor Cuomo, the son?
Because
Governor Cuomo.
you didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Tons
Well,
of fucking
we would've
Democrats
seen
called
it.
that
Like,
out.
everyone would have made
They called
sure
out the guy
not
with
seen
gold bars in his closet. They called out. Who else is
Who's
getting called
that?
out right now? Who's getting called out right now?
I don't know. What you
Bill
talking about?
Clinton for being in the Epstein files.
Oh well.
Oh,
that's
we're not
probably
even going there.
Republican
I'm
stuff.
wrapping up anyway. I'm getting
So, like-
sleepy.
All
I've been
right.
going for a while.
Nice talking to you guys.
It's nice talking to you guys.
You
been a
too,
while.
Congrats
man.
on
It's
the,
been a while.
Been
numbers,
offline.
Jeff. Congrats on the numbers, dude.
Oh, well,
You got your
Jeez.
subs up, and you got your big time sponsors, and you're fucking just moving up in the world.
I don't have any sponsors yet. I would love to snag a sponsor too. Have you ever had a sponsor?
Yeah, man, we were fucking sponsored by Milwaukee Tools for 5 years.
How did you do that? How did you get it? Land it?
We just started doing tool reviews.
And they came to you and they said, "Hey, can we sponsor you?"
Eventually, yeah, we reached out,
That's awesome,
of
dude.
course, but like,
So I need
Yeah.
to pick like a product or certain products and just keep making
Well-
sure that I feature them a lot.
but I mean, we were doing crazy shit too. I mean, the first thing I'd do would be to go up to the highest spot on the job site and drop it. Brand new tools. We'd drop them, try to break them, and then go use them and see how, and like how
Yep.
bad the guard moved and like how,
That's
it's
pretty
like,
good, dude.
And you would stream it?
Yeah.
It was
Or
part
post
of the
it?
sponsorship?
yeah, we had, look at very cool gang, VCG Construction. Guy Vinny and a bunch of guys from Philly. We were working with them and a few other guys at the time. This Hooked on Wood guy over in Europe and whatever else, and like Woodcraft. Woodcraft is
Hooked on
like
Wood.
the big, yeah. Hooked on
Is
Wood.
it
right?
BCG Builders?
VCG, yeah, Construction or Builders, I think. VCG
Is it a little
Construction.
eagle logo?
Very cool gang. But like we'd go do like walkthroughs at Home Depot over Labor Day weekend when they got all the tool reviews, and all the new tools are coming out in the new pipeline here in early September, mid-September. So I'm a little junked out right now for sure.
And
dude.
y'all
Fucking-
would stream it? You'd bring like your camera and review it in the store? What would you use it on?
we'd do little demos and stuff with the reps, and they'd come in and set up some wood and let you get the kids in there, and the kids can run the drills and the old guys and shit can run the tools, and yeah, it's badass. I'm telling you guys, tool sector fucking rules. YouTube. You want to make some money? Get into the tool sector, bro. Drama sector ain't got no money.
What's
Drama
sector?
sector, dude.
Oh,
drama
drama
sector is
sector, yeah.
fucking weak, bro. Tool sector, power tool sector. Those dudes got money, and they love tools like I do.
Oh, I'm all
Well,
about
you
some
sell.
tools, some power
Like,
tools.
literally.
We're kind of both sectors here.
Milwaukee just came out with a battery-operated snowblower, bro. I've been waiting my whole life
Fatty, you really have my wheels turning, if not my juices flowing.
for sure,
That's
bro.
not a bad
No, it's a good gig.
suggestion. I
Yeah,
need to
dude,
figure out how to work
Uncle
tools.
Patty's hardwood
What-
shop. It was fucking great. I'd do
I can
Wednesday
barely use a
walkthroughs.
hammer.
I'd do a big walkthrough through the wood shop and check out all the new tools we got through the week and do little reviews on each tool. And I could do like a 2.5, 3 hour film session and turn that into like a whole week worth of content. Fucking great shit.
Trying to
Dude.
see if I even have a tool.
Definitely.
I can teach y'all how to work a pair of fingernail clippers.
Yeah.
Huh.
Dude,
I don't know.
I had over 1 million views on
Vince
freaking
threw
on a
me.
video of how to sharpen your pencil.
Look, you do this. ASMR. Let's see if it.
Glenn Lawrence might have
Did you hear
the
that?
market covered on that though. Like he's got the atomic soap or whatever.
Oh yeah, the nut soap.
Yeah, something
Nut
like that.
Yep.
We never did. Yeah, Shift and I forgot to talk about nuts today, so maybe we can have our nut conversation real quick. What is nut soap? Just like it sounds?
It's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's his
is that
brand.
really
Why
a
does
thing?
that need special soap?
Well, it's real sensitive down there. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not that. I've used soap on it plenty of times. What are they worried is going to happen
I don't know.
if they
My buddy
use
had
dial
a soap
or
company for a while. He called it taint soap.
zest?
Oh man.
Well, I'm curious. Hey, what? Let me look it up.
Because if
I
it
want to
tain't
see
there,
what's
your
so
guts would
special
fall
about
out.
it, other than marketing.
Is there one called nut soap for real? Because
Or is it soap made from nuts?
I forget was it. He's got a name brand that he's either is it his or what freak is it?
I
Or
think
is
it's
it
a
Well, we had
sponsor.
chicken poop
Sponsor?
chapstick earlier.
I think it's a sponsor, but I forgot the name of what it's actually. It's like a man's, man soap.
Yeah.
I
They
forgot
do
the name
have
of
a
it, though.
product line called Zeus's Taint that makes soap.
Wow.
Good shit. If it tain't there,
Oh, and
your
it has
guts
a
would fall
goat
out.
as a logo. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It has hints of lemongrass, thyme, and cedar.
Well, why wouldn't it?
Now you can smell like a god, or at least his taint.
Wow. There
Well,
must
I
be
don't-
that
I had a
probably
food
because,
truck.
like,
It's
Do
called it get sconed. He would do 500
Yeah, how was
scones a
that?
day. They'd be gone by 9 a.m. He'd be in and out and done and profited out by 9:30.
the retail market of soap, like at Walmart, is so low quality now that there's probably a real market for these higher end soap, like man soap or whatever it's called, right? That's probably what it is. They bottom out. Even your dish soap is like it doesn't go that far anymore. You have to like
It's detergent. It's not real soap.
Yeah, you have
Is
to
there
put it more on your
man-detergent,
sponge.
man
Every other
dish?
like dish, you have to put more on your sponge, right? And then so the high end soap probably is like worth investing in now, I guess.
Oh.
Well, there's only so many liposuction plants that you can go steal fat from. So
All right. Well, if that's not a note to end on, I don't know what is.
Paper Street,
Yeah.
Soap Company, Fight Club.
I've got one more thing I want to say though.
Oh,
before.
right.
So you remember I was talking about doing a show where I interpret dreams for people,
Yeah, I do.
and then Slim showed up and he told me one of his dreams. At that point in time, I realized that I could never do that show because he was talking about such like weird things and such personal things that I knew that if like Snafu or like the Panelverse as a whole got a hold of those things and spread it around, it would basically be bad for those people. So I decided not to do that.
Good.
Oh, I wonder
None
if
of that
there's
shit
a
I
way to
said was
still
true.
do it and minimize that danger.
So like
But
seriously,
yeah,
like
that's
if they told me their like personal stuff and their dreams or whatever, and it got out there, and it would just be bad because we have a snafu hanging around just waiting to pounce on that stuff. And that was the moment I decided it wouldn't work, and I won't do it.
that's
So I
sad
guess
though
thanks
that
for
you
that,
have
Slim.
to go
It's
around
like most things,
protecting
Good in
the
theory, not
internet
so much
from
in practice.
snafu.
Yeah, because I remember what you were saying. You were like, I was on a dock and then I got raped, and then I was underwater and I was drowning. It was all kinds of weird stuff, and I'm like, dude, this can't get out in the public because like this would be a snafu fuel.
Good thing they don't give a shit about me.
Oh,
Oh, poor little zebras. Zebra strike team. Oh, zebra strike team.
So, real quick, Patty, when you say a mine gets on, when a mine goes on fire, what does that actually mean in terms of operation to a mine?
A mime?
Mine, like a silver mine.
Oh, I've got some. This old guy up here has got 40 acres that were old actual silver mines, pre-World War One, a little bit of post-World War One, in between World War Two. The biggest silver mines in the world are up in North Idaho. Right, so,
does it mean that they can't go in there and start? Does it mean that that mine is ruined, like forever?
No, a lot of them got closed down. World War II, they bombed a bunch of the adits, closed them all up. Rich, you really can't even find a lot of them anymore. And
but that's not what I'm asking.
And adits just a hole in the wall, like a tunnel with no ending, right?
Yeah. So you
all hand dug.
Some fires in the mines, or silver mines that went on fire. Does that mean that
forest
that mine
fires?
is
Forest fires burnt down
ruined.
The actual adits, like the adits and all the structure that goes like into the mountain. So when the mountain falls down, it doesn't crush the entrance and all that shit.
Ah, okay.
It's a huge, dude. It's a fucking huge mess. We're so screwed.
Yeah. So is that mine basically considered a hazardous? Like the state will condemn it.
Well, so yeah, you're nailing the head, bro.
Okay.
It's already super toxic area.
Yeah.
The old silver mines, they would pile up the ore with half burnt wood and cook the ore in open pits before they took it into the processing. And whatever it did to it, there was some magic fucking process. What it did is it made a bunch of acid rain and creosote falling out of the air. And we've got the biggest Superfund project in the world up here, where they've given most of that area 3 feet of brand new soil throughout their yards through town, and have gone out into the woods and spread new soil all through the woods. Where we're at, a little bit north of that, they never did any of that. It's like the last single wide area on this lake. This just bomber ass huge fucking homes, and then this like trailer park area, and then bomber huge ass homes.
Mm-hmm.
And in between that's all this northern facing shit that hasn't been logged since the late 50s. No roads. All the roads got torn out during the Clinton administration, right? So they can't even get
Idaho. How much of Idaho is under that lava rock, or is like lava rock is like the ground basically?
Everything kind of from Coeur d'Alene south is all basalt.
Cool.
All that round granite that you see down through, that big to that big, all that white granite came from North Idaho and western Montana when all those big floods came down from the Ice Age movies. On the side of Pondere Lake, where I've got my sailboat, there's a freaking 3,000-foot cliff that all that water rushed up against and took half that mountain and washed it all the way down the Columbia River. That's all white granite. Everything south of that's all black basalt and kind of a gray purple kind of basalt down towards like central Idaho. Then you get down to like southern. That's all craters of the moon, and going into Yellowstone Park and shit down there. There's some cool shit down there.
Hey, do you see my email in the back chat?
Bigfreak.com. Nice.
No. It's the one under GenX-Jeff's Infinity Ministry.
I don't.
No? All right. I'm gonna punch it in there. But
Might not.
I think I want to talk to you about something. So
Oh yeah, for
Hey,
sure.
Phil, good morning. Or good evening for me. I'm wrapping up. I've been up all night.
Yeah, I was wondering what's the special occasion? You not working tomorrow or what?
Yeah, no, I'm off.
Or today, I guess now.
Yeah, I'm off.
Nice.
So I did a late stream.
Well, see, I got Grok, the AI there on the X program, on the Twitter. I got Grok building me an app.
So
So
the
live
thing behind you
checking
was
app.
Grok,
Yeah, he's the
the
AI
right-wing
agent thing.
platform.
Yeah.
Right-wing Trump supporter.
Yeah, you can actually
Now
convince
frenemy
Grok to give you
platform.
inside information about shit.
Oh, that must be fun.
Grok's fucking
Wait till
funny.
they feed the Panelverse into it.
That's kind of the thing, Jeff, is GPT is actually running the country right now, if you haven't noticed.
I don't know.
It's doing a good job because it looks the same
Oh.
to me. I couldn't even know.
Bang
I
up
couldn't even
job.
tell.
Bang up job. Right out of the mind of
Makes
Stephen
me
Miller.
even less worried.
Real quick,
Yep.
I just want to say
I thought
I
it was
hate
the old men behind Trump telling him what to do, but a good thing it's just Chat GPT
yeah.
And Stephen Miller.
and Stephen Miller.
And 14 billionaires. It's always cool when the cabinet owns more than 53% of all the money in the country.
Dude,
Great
Wall
idea.
Street was backing the Democrats for the
I
last
mean, it
two
doesn't
elections.
affect me. It's not
Yeah.
like I'd have
No shit.
more
Why
of
do you
it
think
if
that
they
is?
didn't own that.
Yeah, because they're lefties or whatever.
Because they don't like Trump and they just don't want to see him succeed, right?
I don't know. They just back the Democrats,
Yeah. Because the
right?
Democrats try to help them with what they're doing, and
Well,
All
they
right,
can
this
still-
this could
monopoly
go on all
companies,
night,
right?
truly, but I
Yeah.
got to wrap up. So, you
Yeah,
have
All
any
right, buddy.
final words, Fatty?
Go to bed, fucker.
Thanks for having me, buddy. What's up? We'll talk to you soon.
Good to
Yep,
see you,
freak.
boys.
Let's do it again. It was good catching up. Fatty, you as well. Whoa, okay. Here, do you need a bounce? There you go. All right. Um, I'll be out tomorrow. No, that's that's no Epstein on here. That's a rabbit hole that's too big for this channel because I'm not an Epstein person, and so that's gonna take up probably weeks and weeks and weeks of space if I let it. So anyway, y'all have a good rest of your night. I don't know what y'all do at 3 in the morning, so whatever it is, have fun. Yes, be good sinners. Be good sinners. Be good sinners. And see you tomorrow. Thanks, Freak and Fatty. Good to see you. Phil, you as well. Maybe we'll see you again the next few days. All right. I'm out. It's back to bed time for me. I'll see y'all later. Pleasant dreams. Ha ha ha.